From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
Imagine you and your family are in your home sleeping at night when people with guns wearing masks break in and rob you. It happened in Hazleton over the weekend. That home invasion, our top story on News 13 for this Monday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Bazinski. Well, it's an early morning wake-up call nobody wants. A woman and her 2 young children, victims of a home invasion Sunday morning. Christina Papa was on the scene today finding out how to keep your family safe.
What is your sister's name?
Angie.
Dion Barry is the protector of his home. Sunday's early morning home invasion has his family worried for their safety.
She's like scared. She don't want to be here by herself. And I can't say I blame her.
A woman and her 2 young children were home Sunday morning around 5 a.m. when 3 intruders pushed their way into her home.
5 o'clock in the morning, we received a call for service in the 600 block of Hay Street. They had heard a knock at the door. They opened the door and were then overtaken by 3 individuals who were dressed in black. Their face were covered, their hands were covered.
The intruders were armed and demanded money from the victim.
At this point, the individuals had weapons, ordered the people around, and looked in the house for certain items.
Police reports say the home invaders ransacked the house before they left with a television and an Xbox.
Doesn't appear that this was just a place where people were randomly targeted.
And although Hazleton police say this was an isolated incident, folks right here on Hay Street say they're concerned about the heightened crime rates and are now considering leaving the area.
Everybody's moving out.
Why?
Situation.
All the old Italians, they said, we're out of town. They're moving down to Drums.
Dion lives close by. He isn't worried about protecting his family. That's because he takes preventative steps to keep them safe.
I lock the doors. Like when I'm here, I make sure the doors are locked, windows are all shut.
Detective Kenneth Zapovsky says home invaders aren't usually looking to find residents at home. So keeping your house well lit and locked can help prevent a break-in.
Plus, it doesn't hurt to have an alarm system or even a dog.
This is an ongoing investigation. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call city police. Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
A horrifying accident on Interstate 81 near Delano Sunday evening. One man was killed when he was tossed onto the interstate from a van that had rolled over, and then he was accidentally run over by several vehicles. State police say 2 men were in the van when it went off the road, hit a rock embankment, and flipped over. One man landed on the rocks, the other on the highway. Several passing vehicles ran over his body. He was pronounced dead at the scene, and police now say he was so badly hurt they were trying to confirm his identity through fingerprints. The other man was taken by helicopter to Reading Hospital with critical injuries. No word on his condition. People from all over Greater Hazleton hit the lanes over the weekend to help folks who are visually impaired from our region. The 12th annual Bowl for Sight benefit took place Valley Lanes on Sunday. Bowlers of all ages showed off their skills while having a good time. There were 3 flights of bowling that took place throughout the day and kept the lanes packed. All the money raised at the benefit goes toward the community services for sight.
All the money that's raised here today stays locally within the Schuylkill, Carbon, and Luzerne counties to help people in the area who have sight deficiency, sight problems, not only the blind. So please understand that all the monies raised will stay locally.
Everybody who came out had a great time participating while raising money for those with sight impairments. This was also a weekend where folks gathered to help children who were overcoming a host of challenges. As Stephanie Gorney tells us, it was a glittering night to support the Helping Hands Society.
It was a night full of good food, dancing, and even falling diamonds. The annual Helping Hands Diamond Drop was held this past Sunday, and almost 200 people came out to raise money for a good cause.
It's a different way to raise some money for the Helping Hands Society, but everybody gets to come out to a great meal and a great band. It's just a nice night out on the town, something different to do.
This elegant event helps raise thousands of dollars to children with disabilities. One reason why people believe that this fundraiser is such a big success is because of the man who donates the diamonds.
The thing that keeps the event going is Mark Frumpkin. He is the reason this event is alive, and he's the reason that people keep coming back. And the winner from last year, we all looked at her and said, "Where's your necklace from last year?" She said, "I had to make space for my new necklace that I'm winning this year." So this is why everyone comes, and we can't thank him enough.
Balloons that lined the ceiling of the party would be dropped later on in the night. The lucky winner who picked the right balloon was going home with a diamond and necklace earring set valued at $8,000. Mark has been participating in this event for over 5 years and loves to help give back to the community.
Really happy to do it. We're happy to be able to do it, and it's a lot of fun. It's great for Helping Hands, which is great for the community, and it's great for the kids, and it's just all around. It's a good thing. And I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can.
This event was also sponsored by NOS Landscaping and PPL Corporation, and the entertainment was provided by the band YMI. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
And still ahead on News 13, there have been big changes when it comes to recycling old electronic equipment. We'll tell you about those changes and how you can dispose of those old items. And then a little girl whom everyone in Greater Hazleton has supported and prayed for loses her battle with a rare cancer. We'll remember Adriana when News 13 continues. First, let's check the daily lottery numbers. The daily number 258, the big 4 0564, Quinto 47967, and treasure hunt 12, 13, 16, 21, and 30. Hope you won. Well, just after the new year, some new laws took effect, changing the way you can get rid of your old electronic equipment. But as Stephanie Gorney discovered, there are safe and easy ways to obey these new laws.
In the past, you may have gotten rid of electronic items just by throwing them out with all the rest of your trash. But the state of Pennsylvania has recently put new laws into place banning these electronic disposals at the junkyard. Brenner Recycling is hoping to make it easier on the residents of Hazleton to get rid of these items.
The Covered Device Recycling Act that was put into effect on January 24th of this year, which prohibits the disposal of computers and monitors and television sets in municipal landfills. So Brenner Recycling decided to offer the people a place to dispose of these legally.
The recycling center did not have to change any of their current operations because they are just a drop-off place for the electronic devices.
We are just a collector. We are not taking them apart, taking any of the computers apart. So we're just collecting them and moving them upstream, if you will, to a recycling facility that specializes in computers.
This form of recycling is just as easy as recycling aluminum cans, and the recyclers get paid for most of the electronics that they bring in.
For the computer towers, we're paying 13 to 14 cents a pound, and for peripherals such as printers and keyboards and mice, we're paying 2 to 3 cents a pound. We do have to charge $5 to properly dispose of every computer monitor.
For a complete listing of prices that are being paid for electronics, go to www.brennerrecycling.com. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
And time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar. Not much really happening out there right now. That should change as we head into the overnight, but for right now, things not looking quite as dicey as earlier forecasts may have indicated. Creative condition tonight is a beachy escape from today's frigid temperatures. It's Stephanie Natasha Vargas, a 5th grader at West Hazleton Elementary Middle School, and she says her mom and dad are playing with a beach ball at the beach, and she's playing in the sand. Her cousin's there too, and it's a nice hot day for swimming. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 21. Then for tomorrow, rain, snow, and freezing rain mixed early, but then rain and just snow likely. Little or no ice accumulation, less than 1 inch possible of snow. High eventually up to 38 degrees. Low at night, though, down to 15 degrees. On to Schuylkill County, tonight partly cloudy with low down to 24 degrees. And for Tuesday, snow possibly mixed with freezing rain ending in the morning, then changing to all rain. Little or no ice accumulation there. Trace amounts of snow. High near 40 degrees. Nighttime low around 19 degrees. Well, she sparkled like fireworks. That's how family, friends, and thousands who supported 6-year-old Adriana Bartol are remembering her tonight. Over the weekend, the little girl lost her battle with an aggressive cancer she's fought for most of her young life. Our Christina Papa reports.
For such a little girl she loved so much. Little Adriana Bartol of Hazleton, who was diagnosed with neuroblastoma in 2009, passed away this weekend with family and loved ones close by. Since her diagnosis in 2009, Adriana's family, along with people from around the country, including pop star Katy Perry, have come together to help the young girl with her giant battle.
Hey Adriana, it's Katy Perry. How are you?
And when Adriana became too sick, folks took it upon themselves to make her dreams come true. Family and friends wrote a special message on Facebook in remembrance of the young girl. Friends wrote, quote, "Today God took one of his angels off the world, a true firework. Today God took Adriana Elizabeth Bartle from the world and put her up in the stars." Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Charles A. Boyle of Freeland, the McHugh-Wilczek Funeral Home will announce complete arrangements. Joseph Summerdack of Hazel Township, services will be private and under the direction of the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. Thomas Leonard Sr. of Weston, arrangements will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Home. Robert Walter Pendy Pendergast of Freeland, memorial is Wednesday at 8 p.m. in the Lamar Christ Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Francis J. Colisio, formerly of Tresco, services will be held in Kissimmee, Florida. Richard H. Stankiewicz of Freeland, the McHugh-Wilczek Funeral Home will announce complete arrangements. Margaret T. Sacco of West Hazleton, Mass is Wednesday at 10 a.m. in the Transfiguration Church. Friends may call at the church Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. The Cropton Hughes Funeral Home is assisting the family with the arrangements. Christopher A. Villano of Hazleton, funeral is Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Most Precious Blood Church. Friends may call at the church from 10 to 11 a.m. Arrangements are by the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Joan E. Hill of Bloomsburg, arrangements will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Home. And Catherine Tina Rossi, funeral is Tuesday at 9:45 a.m. from the Furo Funeral Home. Friends may call from 8:40 to 9:45 a.m. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's, once again, the Hazleton area's #1 rated restaurant. Call 570-501-3410 for information on luncheon packages. Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. First tonight, happy 50th birthday to Harry Vetter. This wish comes with love from your family and friends. And finally tonight, happy birthday, Danny Mazzola. This wish comes with love from your family and friends. That's tonight's social news.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr. and Ron Marchetti.
Well, a tiebreaker game between Wyoming Valley West and Hazleton Area Boys Basketball Conference Championship on the line. The final score would tell you it was everything you'd want it to be. Well, it was and it wasn't. The Cougars squandered a 20-point lead in the third quarter. And when you take a look at that, they hung on for dear life. But the bottom line is they got the win. And with the win, they get a much better seed in the district tournament. Our Mike Madry was there, and he has this report.
Well, a packed game for a conference championship at Redeemer. Chris Woodring of Hazleton going to get some space, throwing up the layup, making it 21-10 Hazleton. Then Sal Biazzi getting in on the action himself. Nice pull-up jumper from the junior, 23-12 at that point, and Sal Biazzi did not slow down there, throwing up the three ball with seconds left in the quarter. Got to wipe his shoes off. Hazleton led 32-15 after two. Late in the third quarter, Ingram for Valley West going to cut the deficit down to 46-32. 19 points from Ingram. Right here, huge play for Valley West as they slice the deficit with that huge three ball by the little man. 8 points for him. Sal Biazzi would make a field goal, and then Brett Good with the layup, 20 points for number 21. And with Valley West down 3, they foul Biazzi to end the game. They'll end on a three-pointer, but not enough as Hazleton stays the course. They win 53-52, and they are your champions.
They're a good team. You know, there's a chance we could see them again in districts. We're just so very, very fortunate. These guys worked so hard since March to put themselves in position to win a championship, and it paid off to getting us to this point.
Tough, man. We're going to be ready for districts and beyond that, hopefully.
Well, despite Valley West nearly coming back, Hazleton holds on and wins their 8th conference title since 2003. Now, I was talking to Coach Mike Joseph after the game, and he said he wasn't concerned about his team nearly losing this game. He was just concerned about getting the victory. Mike Madry here in Wilkes-Barre for Channel 13 Sports.
So, you know, no matter how you slice it up, Cougars get the win. They win the Wyoming Valley Conference Championship, and take a look at the seeds. The district committee released the seeds today. Here is the official look. It's actually pretty good for Hazleton, so now you know how important that win was. In the top half of the bracket, you've got Wyoming Valley West is going to play Wallenpaupack. And don't be fooled by that number 5 seed. Wallenpaupack may be the most dangerous team coming out of the Lackawanna League. Williamsport waiting in the wings, well, they're the #1 seed for a reason. Bottom half of the bracket where the Cougars are, well, they're going to await the survivor of Delaware Valley and Scranton. So the Cougars will be off in round 1. They'll play on Saturday. Now, the site will be determined. It's all going to depend on who wins between Delaware Valley or Scranton. So there it is. Cougars will be waiting to see whether the Warriors or whether it's the Knights of Scranton that come away with the win. And in the single A boys, that's where you're going to find MMI. They're the #4 seed. They have the unenviable task of going against #1 Susquehanna. Other half of the bracket, Forest City and Old Forge. How about on the girls' side of things? Joe Gavio and his Lady Cougars get a first-round bye, and I guess that's a good thing, but it's not a good thing. They're not going to play until 9 days from now when they will take on, who else? Wyoming Valley West. In the other half of the bracket, it's Scranton and Delaware Valley squaring off, and the winner there gets #1 seed Wallenpaupack. Remember, Williamsport opted out because they did not have a very good record, and that's why that tournament is kind of short-ended. Now, today, boys basketball, District 11 Class AAA. The Tamaqua Blue Raiders get started by going to Northern Lehigh. You got wrestling, varsity only tonight, Jim Thorpe at Monoy area. So that's the way the short schedule looks for this Monday. College basketball, Ball State upended by Eastern Michigan. Christian Laputka fired in 8 points, couple of rebounds, not enough. Hartwick gets knocked off by Alfred. On the women's side, Brianna Dudek rung it up for 10 points. Alyssa Flanagan chipped in. And the Bloom girls, 10 points better than the Rams of Westchester. In the American Hockey League, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, who have been playing very well, well, you don't play very well when you can't score. They got shut out. They'll be back in action later this week. Hey, you know, you might want to start thinking about heating your home this winter. You could do it for less with American Premium Coal Sales. They offer locally mined quality anthracite at a very, very fair price. It's available for pickup or delivery. And you know, if you order 6 tons or more, you'll qualify for a $10 per ton discount. Now, want more information? You got to contact American Premium Coal Sales. There's the number. It's even toll-free if you're outside of the area. And they're there Monday through Friday, 7 to 4. There's their Saturday hours. Boy, can you beat good old-fashioned anthracite coal to heat your home?
Spring is not in the air on this President's Day, February 18th. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Trivia Treats. On this day in 1957, Mike Miga scored 39 points to lead the McAdoo Maroons over St. Gabriel's 80-66 to win McAdoo's 6th Anthracite League championship since 1938 before over 1,100 fans at St. Joe's Gym in Hazleton. Jerry Ferdosha had 17 to help out Miga, while Joe McFadden led the way for the G-men with 24. It was the Maroons' 16th win of the season against only 2 losses. Wow. That is when the Anthracite League was at its peak. At present, 3 local high schools exist: Hazelton area, MMI, and Marian Catholic. In the 1950s, no less than 14 local high schools were in operation. Let's stay with 1957. At the end of that basketball season, whether you read the morning edition of the Standard Sentinel or the evening edition of the Plain Speaker, you would definitely notice the final standings of all the regional teams. By the way, I was a paper boy in those days, and I remember it cost 6 cents a copy, 30 cents per week. Let me rekindle the memory of all those alma maters. Hazleton, 9-9. West Hazleton, 10-11. McAdoo, 16-2. Hazel Township, 14-6. Ringtown, 14-7. Foster Township, 12-8. Nuremberg, 8-12. Whitehaven, 7-17. Freeland, 10-10. Rock Glen, 16-7. MMI, 14-8. Weatherly, 13-9. St. Gabriel, 7-17. And St. Anne's, 4-18. Freeland had 4 high schools: Freeland, MMI, Foster Township, and St. Anne's. I don't care what anybody says. The 1950s era was definitely the best. Also on this day in 1970, exactly 43 years ago, LSU guard Pete Maravich set an NCAA record for most points scored against a Division I opponent. But the Tigers lost 106-104 to Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Pistol Pete pumped in 69 points. Both Pete and his father, Press, who was LSU's head coach, were assessed with technical fouls. during the game. Pete pursued a spectator as he left the floor at the end of the game, and several of his teammates became involved in a fight with fans. Pete's 69-point flurry would stand as the record until Kevin Bradshaw of U.S. International netted 72 against Loyola of Marymount in 1991, long before the three-point field goal was ever heard of. Mother of God. That's a lot of points to score in one game. That record still stands in the NCAA. Till Friday, be a good sport and stay loose.
Well, there are violins and there are violins, and if you want to hear some modern virtuosos, you're not going to want to miss the next feature of the Greater Hazelton Concert Series when Bowfire comes to town this weekend. And joining me now is Amelia Bergeron, who's putting this all together and is here to tell me about Bowfire, which they're not really violinists, are they?
They're both.
Okay.
They're violinists and fiddlers, and there is a difference in their playing. If somebody is classically trained and wants to be a fiddler, he actually has to go back to school to learn that technique.
Wow.
So we are very excited about this. They are 12 violinists, fiddlers, and
we got some video rolling of them too. Tell us about Bowfire. Tell us everything.
They are from Canada. They are 12 violinists, fiddlers. They are backed by 5 musicians, pianists, keyboard, percussion, cellists, and guitars, also accompanied by a beautiful voice. And what makes this group so different is that not only are they violinist fiddlers, but they are tap and step dancers par excellence. And they not only, you see them now.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Step dance and tap dance while they are playing. Now that is an accomplishment. The violin is a very difficult instrument, but to do that,
I couldn't hold it and dance, let alone play it and dance. Now, it looks awesome. What style of music would you say do they do?
They are doing everything. It's something from each genre that's out there. There'll be classical, there'll be jazz, there'll be rock, there'll be world, there'll be Ottawa Valley, Cape Breton, Gypsy, Celtic. I don't know what I've left out, but there's going to be a little bit of each. Wonderful sets, great costuming. The group was founded by Lenny Solomon in 2000, and he still is the artistic director. And they do have, direct from Broadway, Stafford Arima, who is noted as the best stage director. So he will be doing that for this performance.
How do you find acts like Bowfire? Because they look awesome.
Well, I was just fortunate enough to be able to see this group. And that's what I try to do. If I actually can see them, if they're performing in the area, I will go to that concert. Otherwise, I go to conferences, I go online, I research online, I talk to other presenters, ask them, what have you had? Have you had anything that might interest my group? Because my audience is different. All audiences aren't the same. So you have to build your season around your audience.
Now, the performance is?
Thursday at 7:30. Doors open at 6:30.
Okay.
Please come
and
early.
And it's at?
Hazelton Area High School. Because I do have people sitting on the coping at like 5:30
oh my goodness.
to come in.
Well, I'm telling you something, and you never come to visit us empty-handed. Folks, I have a treat for you. We have 2 tickets. Amelia's brought them right here. 2 tickets to see Bowfire, and we are going to give them away to caller number 13 right now. Dial the number on your screen, 459-9813 right now. And good luck. And Amelia, good luck with Bowfire. It sounds like it's going to be a fabulous evening.
I'm sure it will be. It's SRO wherever they go.
And it's going to be here too as well. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And plenty more news and info headed your way on News 13. It's a Schuylkill County tradition and institution. A local store celebrates 90 years in business. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back. It's been a part of life in one Schuylkill County community for the past 90 years, and it's still going strong. A big anniversary for an institution in Tamaqua. Our top story on News 13 at 4:30.
From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazelton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks so much for staying with us tonight. I'm Kathy Bazinski. Well, it's part of Schuylkill County's history. For the past 90 years, a business in Tamaqua has been helping men put their best foot forward. Stephanie Gorney has more on its tradition and its celebration.
Suits and ties have been worn by men to many occasions and events over the past hundreds of years. Charles X. Block Menswear has been serving Tamaqua and helping men look classy for nearly a century and continues to provide quality service.
It actually started in 1923. The original owner, who was Charles X. Block, lived upstairs, raised a family with 3 boys.
The store has been kept in the family up until recently. Charles's youngest son, Ted, took over the store in the 1960s and has run it up until 2 years ago when he sold it to Ralph Richards. The historical business started off by carrying suits, ties, sports jackets, and shoes, but to keep up with the times, the store had to upgrade some of its products.
Well, we did change some brands through the years. We've added some things. We actually put in some women's wear as far as accessory goes, with handmade purses, jewelry items, scarves, things of this nature.
Rich has been with the store for nearly 40 years and loves being able to meet new people and help them with their needs. I
like what I do. I like what I do. I know a lot of people, met a lot of great people through the years. I enjoy it. And I've had a great boss with Mr. Block, and it continues with Mr. Richards.
An employee who recently started has been coming to Charles Block for all of his formal needs since he was a young boy.
I was an occasional customer, starting back, I think, when I was 6 years old as a ring bearer in my aunt and uncle's wedding. And then on occasion for my brother's wedding, my sister's wedding were booked here. The groomsmen came in for their tuxes. So I was familiar with the store that way, and the occasional purchase of my own.
Ben has learned that loyal customers who keep coming back for the quality service don't actually realize how long the business has been around.
The gentleman who came in the other day for dry cleaning and said he remembers coming in as a boy for his suits for Easter, and he was 84 years old. So just the fact that we're a line of continuity throughout Tamaqua's history and the business in downtown, I think really gives people a lot of comfort and security in knowing that we've been here for a long time, we know them, they know us, and we continue on in the future.
The staff at Charles X. Block hopes to have an official celebration in late spring for the store's 90th birthday. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Tamaqua.
A horrifying accident on Interstate 81 near Delano Sunday evening. One man was killed when he was tossed onto the interstate from a van that had rolled over, and then he was accidentally run over by several vehicles. State police say 2 men were in the van when it went off the road, hit a rock embankment, and flipped. One man landed on the rocks, the other on the highway. Several passing vehicles ran over his body. He was pronounced dead at the scene, and police say he was so badly hurt they are trying to confirm his identity through fingerprints. The other man taken by helicopter to Reading Hospital with critical injuries. No word on his condition. It's an early morning wake-up call nobody wants. A woman and her 2 young children victims of a home invasion Sunday morning. Christina Papa was on the scene today finding out how to keep your family safe.
What is your sister's name?
Angie.
Dion Barry is the protector of his home. Sunday's early morning home invasion has his family worried for their safety.
She's like scared. She don't want to be here by herself. And I can't say I blame her.
A woman and her 2 young children were home Sunday morning around 5 a.m. when 3 intruders pushed their way into her home.
5 o'clock in the morning, we received the call for service in the 600 block of Hay Street. They had heard a knock at the door. They opened the door and were then overtaken by 3 individuals who were dressed in black. Their face were covered, their hands were covered.
The intruders were armed and demanded money from the victim.
At this point, the individuals had weapons, ordered the people around, and looked in the house for certain items.
Police reports say the home invaders ransacked the house before they left with a television and an Xbox.
Doesn't appear that this was just a place where people were randomly targeted.
And although Hazleton police say this was an isolated incident, folks right here on Hay Street say they're concerned about the heightened crime rates and are now considering leaving the area.
Everybody's moving out.
Why?
Situation.
All the old Italians, they said, we're out of town. They're moving down to Drums.
Dion lives close by. He isn't worried about protecting his family. That's because he takes preventative steps to keep them safe.
I lock the doors. Like when I'm here, I make sure the doors are locked, windows are all shut.
Detective Kenneth Zapovsky says home invaders aren't usually looking to find residents at home, so keeping your house well lit and locked can help prevent a break-in.
Plus, it doesn't hurt to have an alarm system or even a dog.
This is an ongoing investigation. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call city police. Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
Hello, I'm Chief Frank DeAndre of the Hazleton Police Department. Today I would like to talk to you about wallet and purse safety. Unfortunately, no matter how much police coverage there is no style of handbag or wallet that cannot be taken. If a robber really wants to take your valuables, chances are the robber will get them. There are, however, several good strategies to reduce your risk of becoming a victim. Number one, be aware and avoid potential trouble. Be aware of your surroundings and know who is nearby. Pay attention to the uncomfortable feelings that often warn us of potential danger. Don't be afraid to cross the street, return to a business, or ask for help based on a funny feeling. You may be right. Number two, minimize the opportunity for loss. Learn to carry only what is actually needed. Carry only small amounts of cash. Take only the credit cards you actually plan to use. Leave expensive jewelry at home. Number three, minimize the opportunity for injury. Your safety should be the number one priority. Make a plan for how you would respond if someone tried to steal your purse or wallet. Don't resist or try to fool the robber. If a robber asks for your purse or wallet, throw it on the ground away from you. When they go to pick it up, run as fast as you can in the opposite direction. Number four, safely carry valuables. Handbags should be closed, carried in front of the body with an arm loosely across it. A bag dangling by your side is much easier for a thief to grab on the run. Avoid carrying house keys in your handbag. Instead, carry keys in a pocket. Chances are your address is on a document in the bag. If the thief has your keys and address, they have easy entry to your home. Number five, thefts and pickpockets. Don't make it easy for thieves. They are on the lookout for items left in cars, grocery carts, dressing rooms, or desks. Be especially cautious in busy stores, shopping districts, at public events, on buses, and at bus stops. Thieves are attracted to crowds. Number six, responding to a confrontation. If a robber grabs your bag, resist the impulse to play tug of war. If you hang on, chances are you will be knocked down, hit or kicked, and then they'll take your bag. Victims sometimes tell a robber they have no money. This technique may backfire. It's safer to give a few dollars up. Carry a little money in an accessible place for just this purpose. Keep it separate from your other funds. If someone demands your property and displays or implies in any way that they have a weapon, hand them the bag and wallet. The Hazleton Police Department reminds you, if you feel threatened or believe something is unsafe, call 911 and allow us to investigate.
And coming up on News 13, the possibility of a slick start to our Tuesday. We'll tell you all about it in News 13 weather. And then you can't just simply trash that old TV or computer. What you can do with your old electronics under the new laws. Just ahead on News 13. Just after the new year, some new laws took effect, changing the way you can get rid of old electronic equipment. But as Stephanie Gorney discovered, there are safe and easy ways to obey these new laws.
In the past, you may have gotten rid of electronic items just by throwing them out with all the rest of your trash. But the state of Pennsylvania has recently put new laws into place banning these electronic disposals at the junkyard. Brenner Recycling is hoping to make it easier on the residents of Hazleton to get rid of these items.
The Covered Device Recycling Act that was put into effect on January 24th of this year, which prohibits the disposal of computers and monitors and television sets in municipal landfills. So Brenner Recycling decided to offer the people a place to dispose of these legally.
The recycling center did not have to change any of their current operations because they are just a drop-off place for the electronic devices.
We are just a collector. We are not taking them apart, taking any of the computers apart. So we're just collecting them and moving them upstream, if you will, to a recycling facility that specializes in computers.
This form of recycling is just as easy as recycling aluminum cans, and the recyclers get paid for most of the electronics that they bring in.
For the computer towers, we're paying 13 to 14 cents a pound, and for peripherals such as printers and keyboards and mice, we're paying 2 to 3 cents a pound. We do have to charge $5 to properly dispose of every computer monitor.
For a complete listing of prices that are being paid for electronics, go to www.brennerrecycling.com. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
And time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar, really nothing going on, but that may change as we head into the overnight. For right now, though, things not looking as bad as some earlier forecasts indicated for tomorrow. Our creative condition is a beachy escape from our frigid temperatures. It's by Stephanie Natasha Vargas, a 5th grader at West Hazleton Elementary Middle School. She says her mom and dad are playing with a beach ball on the sand while she plays in the sand, and her cousin is there with them too. And it's a nice hot day for swimming at the shore. I'll take it. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low down to 21. Then for tomorrow, rain, snow, and freezing rain mixed early, then rain and snow likely, but little or no ice accumulation, less than 1 inch of snow, high all the way eventually up to 38, low at night down to 15. For Wednesday, partly sunny with an occasional snow shower, high near 25, nighttime low down to 12. Thursday, sunny, a high of 27, low at 17. Friday, cloudy with a 30% chance of some snow, high near 32. Moving on to Schuylkill County, tonight partly cloudy with a low down to 24 degrees. Then for Tuesday, snow possibly mixed with freezing rain, ending in the morning, then changing to all rain, little or no ice, trace amounts of snow, high all the way up to 40, nighttime low down to 19. Then on Wednesday, partly sunny and breezy with a high near 33, low at night around 14. And on Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 29, low down to 18. Friday, we do have a 30% chance of rain and snow, but it'll be cloudy with a high around 34 degrees. And still ahead on News 13, it's February, and are you still staying with your New Year's resolutions? We'll have this week's installment of Why Not Get Fit. But first, the Wyoming Valley Conference is conquered by Cougars. Fred Barletta has this weekend's big game coming up on News 13 Sports. And finally for tonight, people from all over Greater Hazleton hit the lanes over the weekend to help folks who are visually impaired from our region. The 12th annual Bowl for Sight benefit took place at Valley Lanes on Sunday. Bowlers of all ages showed off their skills while having a heck of a lot of fun. There were 3 flights of bowling that took place throughout the entire day, and that kept the lanes packed. All of the money raised at the benefit goes toward the Community Services for Sight.
All the money that's raised here today stays locally within the Schuylkill, Carbon, and Luzerne counties to help people in the area who have sight deficiency, sight problems, not only the blind. So please understand that all the monies raised will stay locally.
There was some nice bowling there. Everybody who came out seemed to have a great time participating while raising money for those with sight impairments. And that's News 13 for your Monday. Thank you so much for joining us. You can catch this newscast again with rebroadcast throughout tonight. Just go to News 13's website any old time, SSPTV.com, where you'll always find the local and regional news you need and the community news you want. For the entire News 13 team, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Bazinski. Have a great Monday night.